Michel Zecler and the police violence in France, and most particularly the law sécurité globale, which would pretty much be translated as global security. Recently in France, we have had some images of even more police violence through the beating up of Michel Zecler. He's being beat up while going in his production studio. He's a music producer, mainly because he had no masks. So, I guess, please, people of the right, even though he's a black man, have a little empathy. He had no mask. You don't like masks? Please? Obviously, the police already attempted to frame the situation as him, Michel Zecler, having tried to get a hold on the policeman's weapon and to beat them up. We have enough images of the scene, so we can say for sure that it is not the case. We have images from security video cam inside the place where he has mainly been beaten. We have a video from one of the young people that was inside the music studio where they were recording some songs, and we have videos of someone shooting the scene from his apartment, where a scene where they are dragged outside of the building after having beaten Michel Zecler inside of the building and even having thrown a gas bomb inside the building, and they have been dragged out after this beating and beaten up again in the streets, just up until someone in the police yelled, "Cameras!" And suddenly every cop stopped beating up not only Michel Zecler, but also the 9 young people that have been dragged out of the building with Michel Zecler. So this is very important images to see in France and everywhere. Obviously, we want to be able to see police violence everywhere it happens, but this is particularly more important in France right now because there is a law that is called sécurité globale, global security, which has already implemented into the law that not only police can use drones as a means of mass surveillance of manifestation and all that. There is also the Article 24 that, weirdly enough, even though we already have a law that punishes this kind of thing, would want to punish it, even though we are already punishing it, the fact of using the images of a cop for the intent of hurting him psychologically or physically. So obviously, as I was saying, we already have law that punish this kind of thing. We are not living in a state where trying to hurt someone, whether psychologically or physically, through the diffusion of some images is allowed. We're not living in that kind of country. But this law and this Article 24 is very useful right now to our Minister of Justice, Gérald Darmanin, to satisfy the very strong police unions we have in France, as you do have in America, that really pushed this minister to get such laws passed. The government himself and even the Minister of Justice, Gérald Darmanin, argued that it would not be a crackdown on freedom of press, and yet, even before this law was fully implemented, there has been cops using this law as a pretext to crack down on members of the press, to use violence on them, or to threaten them of judiciary consequences. Maybe, hopefully, this law will be aborted at some point. There has been some discontent amongst our parliament following the attempt of the government to satisfy somewhat the left, making an extra parliamentary committee rewrite this law, which was not very did not make our parliament, our members of the parliament, very happy, because they are supposed to be the only one able to rewrite the law. But yeah, for now, we have this law in place, and the police has even more power than before. We, as citizens or as members of the press, if we are, have even less power to report on what the police is doing, or at least the police has even more power to crack down on us if we do. So this is a very good time for us to get some images of police violence and to try to reframe the global rhetoric we have in France around police violence